People ask me all the time, Christine, should I move to California? And my answer is always the same. Which California? Because the state people imagine when they're packing their boxes and the state they actually land in, they're not always the same place. If we haven't met yet, I'm Christine Donovan. I'm a real estate broker and an attorney in coastal Orange County. 4th generation in real estate, 3rd generation right here in coastal Orange County. I've lived in Costa Mesa for over 30 years. And here's what makes me a little different from most California real estate content. I grew up in Newport Beach. I went to UC Berkeley for undergrad. I went to law school in Los Angeles, and then I came home. So I have personally lived 3 very different versions of this state, and I can tell you from experience, California is not one place. It never has been. Before we get into it, drop a comment, tell me which part of California you're considering. Bay Area, Los Angeles, San Diego, Orange County, because that changes everything I'm about to say. Okay, let's go. California is not one state. Most people thinking about moving to California have one image in their head: sunshine, palm trees, the coast. And I'm not saying that image is wrong, but it is incomplete. California is 840 miles long. It has redwood forests, desert, tech campuses, and farm towns. The Bay Area fog, the Santa Ana winds, San Francisco startup culture, and Orange County beach culture. And there's far Northern California, the Sierras, the agricultural Central Valley. Places that feel almost like an entirely different state. I can't speak to all of them from personal experience. What I can speak to is the California I've actually lived, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and Orange County. And across all of those very different places, one thing is remarkably consistent: the price tag. So let me break down what you're actually choosing between. Northern California, what it actually is. Northern California, and specifically the Bay Area, is extraordinary. I say that as someone who spent 4 years at Berkeley, and I loved it. The intellectual energy, the food, the access to nature, you can be in Napa in an hour, Tahoe in 3. The culture is serious, the people are engaged. There's a reason people build entire careers there and never leave. But the Bay Area will humble you financially faster than almost anywhere else in the entire country. In the San Francisco metro area, median home prices hit a record $1.7 million. And out in Silicon Valley, places like Palo Alto, Cupertino, Mountain View, you're often looking at $2 million and above. The salaries that support Bay Area living are largely concentrated in tech. If you're not in that ecosystem or closely adjacent to it, the math gets hard really fast. And then there's the weather. Mark Twain may or may not have actually said the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. Whether he said it or not, it's true. I showed up at Berkeley in September thinking I was still in California. I had flip-flops, sundresses. Freshman year, I bought a raincoat because the rain blew sideways and the umbrella I had was nearly useless. The fog's real, the wind is real, the summers are cold. People who move to the Bay Area expecting the California weather fantasy sometimes end up very surprised. Does that make it the wrong choice? Absolutely not, but it makes it a different choice. And you should know what you are choosing. And then there's Los Angeles, the one that everyone thinks they know. I went to law school in LA, and I'll say this without hesitation: Los Angeles is an experience. I've been to many cities in many countries, and there is no city quite like it. The scale, the ambition, the creative energy. There are people who move to LA and it becomes their whole identity in a good way. During my years there, I also lived through the Rodney King riots, the Northridge earthquake, the Malibu fires. So, just a couple quiet years in LA. And after all that, I moved home to Orange County, not because LA broke me, but because I knew what I wanted, and LA, as glad as I am that I lived it, wasn't it. Here's what LA actually is. It's enormous, and it's not one city. It's dozens of neighborhoods strung together. Where you live in LA determines who you see, where you eat, how you spend your weekends. You could live there for 5 years and barely leave a 10-mile radius. Traffic in LA is its own conversation. 45 minutes to get anywhere on a good day. People organize their social lives around traffic patterns, and that's not an exaggeration. That's just how it works. On pricing, LA is actually more varied than people expect. The overall county median is around $910,000. But in desirable neighborhoods, Silver Lake, Culver City, Los Feliz, the West Side, single-family homes are running $1.2 million and well above that. Some people find LA electric, some find it exhausting. Both are completely valid reactions. Now, Southern California, and specifically Orange County where I live, I've always come back to. Here's what surprises most people. Southern California is not one thing either. San Diego has a completely different feel than LA. Orange County has a completely different feel than either of them. OC is more settled, more suburban, more people who put down roots and stay. I'm proof of that. My family going back generations is proof of that. And within Orange County, Costa Mesa sits in one of the most accessible, livable pockets of the entire region. Parts of Costa Mesa are less than a mile from the Pacific Ocean. Others are closer to 3, right next door to Newport Beach and more accessible in price than the cities directly around it. But, and I want to be real with you, more accessible than coastal Orange County still means single-family homes starting around 1.2 to 1.8 million. Condos from the high 800s to over $1 million. And once you factor in mortgages, taxes, insurance, HOA, you're often looking at $5,000 to $8,000 a month to own. That's not a luxury number here. That's just entry to ownership in this market. My grandfather had a saying. He grew prize-winning roses. When people asked him his secret, he'd say you put a $5 rose bush in a $50 hole. What he meant was that foundation is everything. Not the surface, not what looks pretty, the structure underneath. And the people who thrive in coastal OC came in knowing the financial foundation. They didn't just ask, can I qualify? They asked, how does this feel once I'm living with it? That question changes everything. Regardless of where in California you land, here are the things I watch catch people off guard most consistently. Traffic. In California, distance is measured in time, not miles. Nobody here says it's 12 miles away. They say it's about 25 minutes, depending. And that depending is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Bay Area, LA, OC, doesn't matter. If you're not prepared to spend time in your car, California will frustrate you. The cost of everything. It's not just housing. Groceries, utilities, car insurance, dining out. Everything runs higher than most of the country. And the lifestyle California offers, the outdoor dining, the weekend trips, the farmers markets, will tempt you to spend more than you had planned. That's not a bug. That's kind of a feature. But you should know it's coming. May gray and June gloom. People moving to Southern California for the weather, and then they arrive in May or June and go, wait, this is gray? The marine layer rolls in off the ocean from May through early July. Mornings are overcast, sometimes all day, and it's more pronounced right at the coast. Now here's the thing, you can actually drive away from it, head a few miles inland, and you'll often find full sun while it's still socked in at the beach. Move here in July and you'll think you found paradise. Move here in June and you wonder if you made a mistake. You didn't, just give it a few weeks. Community takes intention. California is not a casserole on your doorstep kind of a state. People here are friendly, but they're also busy and spread out. So building real community takes more deliberate effort than it does in other parts of the country. Costa Mesa is actually one of the better places for this in Southern California. There are real established neighborhoods here, people who have lived here for a long time and chose to stay. But you'll still need to go out and find your people. They will not automatically show up at your doorstep. If you're already looking at specific areas in Costa Mesa, anywhere in Orange County, or comparing California markets, feel free to drop it in the comments. I do read them. Or reach out directly, and I'm happy to walk through your situation with you. Here's what I want you to leave with. California is enormous. It contains multitudes. Far Northern California and the Central Valley are their own worlds. Worlds I respect, but can't speak to from personal experience. What I can tell you is this. I've lived in Northern California, I've lived in Los Angeles, I came back to Orange County, and I have been here for over 30 years. That was not an accident. The people who moved to California, any part of California, and love it, share one thing in common. They went in with clear eyes, they understood the cost, they chose the version of California that matches how they actually live. Not just how it looks on a Saturday afternoon in July. And then they discovered what this state genuinely delivers. In the Bay Area, intellectual energy, access to nature, world-class food. In LA, creative culture, ambition, the feeling that anything can happen. In coastal Orange County, a lifestyle that's quieter than LA, sunnier than the Bay Area, and more livable than almost anywhere else on the California coast. Parts of Costa Mesa sit less than a mile from the ocean. Others are closer to 3. Real neighborhoods, people who choose to stay. That combination is harder to find than it looks on a map, and it's why I came home. If this was helpful, please go ahead and subscribe. I put out content every week on what it's actually like to live, buy, and sell here in coastal Orange County. Not the highlight reel, the real picture. And tell me in the comments, which part of California are you considering? What's the one thing you're most nervous about before you make that move? I read those and I answer them. And if you're seriously thinking about relocating to Costa Mesa or anywhere in Orange County, I'm happy to schedule time with you. We can talk through your timeline, your budget, your specific questions. And if Orange County ends up not being the right fit, I have strong relationships with agents in other markets. Wherever you're considering, I'm happy to help you think it through. The link to reach me is below. I'm Christine Donovan, broker and attorney. Clarity first, strategy that sells. I'll see you in the next one.